Hello there. Well, as you can see, we're here at Royal Ascot, but it's not the horses we're interested in, it's the footy down in South Africa. Coming up on this week's show, Sports Betting Journalist of the Year Steve Palmer has an update on his World Cup punting. Our resident footy boffin Kevin Pauline brings us his quirkiest bet of the week, and Wally's found someone else to blow the horn for England. Nice. Well, we've had the first round of group games now, and it's been mixed reviews for England. But let's see who the champagne set think are going to win the World Cup.
Oh, it's definitely England.
Definitely England.
Definitely. It's got to be. They're going to win. They're going to win.
Got to have team spirit, guys.
I would love to say England together with about, 60 million people. But no, I think it's either going to be Spain or Brazil.
Well, probably this is the unlikely answer you would get from me. I still think England can do it.
Slovakia.
England. Brazil.
Well, good luck with that Slovakia tip. Let's hear what the real experts think.
South Africa have been written off as outsiders to win their second game against Uruguay, but I feel that they could go quite well. In the first game they took a good 15-20 minutes to get going, but once they did, I thought they settled and played some good stuff, and I think their energy could cause Uruguay some problems. I think at 9-4, South Africa are well worth backing.
On Thursday, I'll be backing Mexico at around 5-2 to beat France. The Mexicans should really have been out of sight by half-time in their first game against South Africa. They only drew 1-1, but I think their nimble forward players should be able to create chances against a French side that lived down to expectations in their goalless draw with Uruguay.
My tip of the second round is for the United States to beat Slovenia at 11-10. The Americans looked good against England, even though they benefited from a fortunate goal, but Slovenia really struggled against Group C rags Algeria, so I'd be taking the Americans to come out on top of that one.
On the Saturday, Ghana have been made quite warm 10-11 favourites to beat Australia. Australia are 7-2, but I think at this price they could be worth backing. I think Australia came into a really strong, informed team when they come up against Germany in their first game. I think this is a game that looks winnable for them.
Brazil did not impress everyone against North Korea in their opening World Cup match, but they can improve on that showing and look good things to beat Ivory Coast. Luis Fabiano and Kaka will improve for the run, and Robinho was mightily impressive against the Asian side. Ivory Coast were pretty poor in a 0-0 draw against Portugal, and the Samba Stars can run rings round the elephants.
Mark Langdon is going to be on a little later on with his nap of the week, but first, Wally's been out and about with his horn, trying to pipe up some support for England.
Now, joining me today is Sally Nugent, sports presenter for BBC News. Must have seen her face on the TV, so many times. Now, Sally is going out to the World Cup, so she knows everything but everything about what's going to happen. Now, come on in, Sally. First and foremost, viewers out there will want to know, who do you fancy will win the World Cup?
Well, I like the fact that you think I know what's going to happen. I'm not actually a fortune teller. I would love to know what's going to happen, but as we've seen in the last couple of World Cups, they've actually been quite unpredictable. I would have to say, though, in terms of who's going to win this World Cup, I'm going to say Argentina. Now, I know they're not favourites to win, but in Lionel Messi, they have a fantastic star striker. And look, Diego Maradona in charge. Could you get any better story than that? I mean, I can remember being in the BBC newsroom a few years ago now, sitting on a set with my earpiece in, ready to talk about the fact that Diego Maradona had just died. That's how ill he was. You know, we thought he was on life support in a hospital after that serious kind of problem he had. He had, a well-admitted drug problem for several years. Now here he is in charge of Argentina, of course the team that he once played so brilliantly for, taking them to a World Cup finals. They've had a terrible qualification period, but I think what a story that would be if he could come back from death's door. And what fantastic facial hair he's got at the moment as well.
Show a little patriotism for England.
Go on.
Just blow the trumpet for England.
The trumpet?
The England trumpet.
What, straight at you?
Wow, wonderful, Sally. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Sports betting journalist of the year Steve Palmer is not known for his patriotic views on the England team. He was sporting a USA shirt last Saturday, which is not a wise move down my local. But where's his money going this week?
Hi there, Steve Palmer here, looking ahead to forthcoming World Cup matches, and I make Mexico a great bet at 5-2 to beat France. The French are hot favourites, but they look a disunited bunch under hapless coach Raymond Domenech. Florent Malouda had a reported training ground bust-up with the manager, while Thierry Henry looked like he didn't even want to come on when called as a sub against Uruguay. France were poor in that goalless draw, and Mexico, for whom Giovanni Dos Santos looks like he could be one of the stars of the tournament, possessed the weapons to cause an upset. Barcelona star Rafael Marquez is an ace defensive marshal, while Dos Santos, Carlos Vela and Javier Hernandez are three fleet-footed danger men in attack. The prices have been built on past World Cup success rather than current ability, and Mexico offers superb value.
Obviously, I've been working very hard studying the form, but luckily for you, soccer boffin Kevin Pauline has been burning the midnight oil, looking for some of the less obvious punting angles for this week's action. Here he is with his quirky corner.
A bet that might be worth following, either until the price changes or more evidence becomes available, is 3 minutes injury time at the end of the second half. You can get 1.9 for every match with Bet365. It was 2.1 at the start of the tournament, and it's just possible that the price should be even shorter than 1.9. Odds of 1.9 imply that there's less than a 53% chance of something happening. In 8 of the first 14 games at this World Cup, 3 minutes injury time has been displayed on the board at the end of the second half. That's in 57% of games. At the last World Cup, also, 3 minutes was added to the second half in 57% of games. In other recent continental competitions, like the African Cup of Nations and the European Championship, the figure has been either the same or higher. It's a weird bet, to be sure, but it's one that just might offer a little bit of value for money.
Well, that's almost all for now, but I'll leave you with chief football writer Mark Langdon and his best bet for the week.
My best bet at the second round group matches comes with Denmark to beat Cameroon. Denmark lost 2-0 to Holland, but that was always expected to be a tough game. They can improve on that showing with Bentner becoming back to full fitness, and also Agger and Kier looked a mighty fine partnership at centre-back. Cameroon lost 1-0 to Japan and were absolutely awful. This is a side that failed to impress at the African nations and don't look like improving one little bit during this World Cup finals.